Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips. And I hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day holiday. I did a lot of fun things, did a lot of work, also got a lot of things done. We'll just start with a couple of announcements. First of all, summer semester starts this week, like tomorrow. There's still time to enroll. I don't like the last minute, but we always deal with it because humans are like that, So if you've decided that you want to start class tomorrow, we'll make it happen. My email address is pampopper@msn.com. So let me know. And the diet and lifestyle course starts tomorrow. That's the 15-module course that covers men's health, women's health, children's health, autoimmune diseases, gastrointestinal diseases, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. It's an incredible overview course, and you don't even have to be a health professional to take it. We have a lot of lay people who take it, just audit it, because they like the information. It is packed with information. The courses that are part of Nutrition Educator are the obesity course, nutrition and obesity, and psychology. And then I'm going to do something kind of interesting. A lot of people are interested in our Nutrition Educator program, which is it's very similar. It's an alternative to university dietetics programs for people who just don't want to do that for a variety of reasons. And so starting August 2nd, I'm going to teach 2 classes for people who are saying, I'd like to do it maybe, but I'm just a little bit worried about whether or not I want to spend time doing homework every week. So anyway, the 2 courses that I'm going to teach are a research and writing overview and plant-based nutrition and health. It's 15 classes total. The tuition is only $600. And it's a way for, if you're interested in this, to figure out if you really think you want to do this every week for a good long time, to get this designation, right? Nutrition educator. So anyway, if that interests you, feel free to send me an email also at pampopper@msn.com. All right, so I want to talk about psychological stress and COVID-19. All right, so I'll just start by saying I'm still hearing from people every day who are really concerned about what to do to prevent COVID or to lessen the impact if they get it. And of course, the way to reduce the risk of getting sick with almost anything is to focus on building your health. I mean, lots of people are concerned about health, but there's this just great big disconnect between I'm interested in it versus how much am I actually doing about it. That's the big thing, So one of the concepts we've promoted at Wellness Forum for a long, long time is moving away from what I call episodic healthcare. That means you just sort of eat, drink, and be merry. And then when something goes wrong, you get treatment. And then you just continue to eat, drink, and be merry until the next thing comes along. And that's not such a great idea. What I like to have people do is move more toward what I call intentional and proactive healthcare. And I think that the beginning of this is basically saying, look, in the list of things that I think are most important in life, I'm going to put health. I'm going to put it right in that list. And then I'm going to start actually doing things every day to rebuild my health and then to maintain my health. And the kinds of things that you would do then are to adopt a health promoting diet, drink enough water, get restful sleep, exercise, maintain a healthy weight, pay attention to things like your psychological state. I'm going to come back to that, your social connections, and your purpose in life. Now, these strategies will work for almost everything to prevent or lessen the impact of conditions ranging from colds and flu to cancer and heart disease, right? Now, my area of expertise is physical health, but over the years, I have really come to understand and recognize the importance of psychological health. This is as important as what you eat and how much exercise you get. And as it turns out, it has a lot to do with the severity of COVID-19. A new study shows that a person's psychological state prior to getting COVID is a determining factor in how serious COVID will be. Psychological stress prior to infection increases the risk of hospitalization. So the way that this study was done, it included a total of 54,781 people from 3 ongoing studies who had not had COVID and were followed from April of 2020 to April of 2021. The researchers adjusted for demographic factors and healthcare worker status, and what they found is that chronic depression prior to the start of COVID, being worried about COVID, and loneliness were each associated with increased risk of hospitalization And the risk was equivalent to other known risk factors like high cholesterol and hypertension. So in other words, worrying about severe COVID is a risk factor for getting severe COVID, along with, of course, depression and loneliness, which are a risk factor for everything. Now, there's some good news in all of this, all right? Every day, grown-ups have to face a lot of things they can't control. Today, these things include, like, if you filled up your gas tank over the weekend, you realize that the prices are high and there's not much you can do except park your car. If you want to drive, you're going to pay it. It's challenging to find some things in stores these days, and the prices have increased. And then there's traffic and stress at work, and all that stuff is just stuff we have to live with. But there is a lot you can do to change your physical health, like I mentioned before, and also your psychological health. And some of it just has to do with making time to do things you enjoy. Reading, running, time with friends, puttering around your house, and cooking. I mean, I did a lot of that stuff, all weekend long because it's stuff I like to do. Reading good self-help or motivational books is another thing. I try to read something inspirational. I intersperse inspirational or motivational reading in between books on history and books on health and all the other stuff I read, right? Another thing you might want to consider, we have an amazing therapist, Kelly Aurora, who teaches classes. Many of you have taken her classes. If you haven't, highly recommend them. She has 2 new things coming up: coping with current events. Aha, right? Everybody's dealing with that. And then she has a 10-week summer series that includes classes like skills for adapting to change, nervous system nurture, strategies for insomnia, overcoming destructive patterns, dealing with toxic relationships, handling uncertainty, how to handle when life's not okay, becoming one's own best ally, and so on. So if you're interested in those classes, send me an email as well. I'll be happy to send you some additional information with dates and tuition and that sort of thing. But really, when it comes to health, I mean, there's some you can't control. I mean, no matter what you do, some people get sick. You can't explain every illness the same way, but there's a lot you can do. And, all my life, or the 27 years I've spent in healthcare, usually I see people when they're panicked about something has happened and they have to pay attention to their health. And what I try to encourage all the time is, of course, doing that when disaster occurs, but and do it before. There's a whole, most of what healthcare deals with every day is preventable illness. And I've never had anybody in my office, I'll just leave you with this thought, who has said, well, I know I had this heart attack, or I've got this cancer, or now I've developed an autoimmune disease or whatever. But I'll tell you, all that fun I had eating bad food and not paying attention to my weight, it was just so worth it. Even though I find myself in this situation, I mean, most people are like, oh my gosh, I should have started paying attention to this a long time ago. So how about now instead of when disaster strikes? I'm just saying. All right. So with that, pass this on to anybody who you think might enjoy watching it. And I'll be back to you tomorrow with more news.